Woosah. I'm gonna woosah right now as the heater kicks on. I'm gonna move this out of our not finished studio. Maybe this is another reason why I'm not so happy, because I want this studio to be finished already.
Ruffy's Rants.
Hola, you amazing artist. I've gotten a lot of messages lately of people getting locked out of their Google accounts and getting locked out of different platforms like Facebook, having issues with Instagram. We're talking about when the internet screws up.
Oh, so this is going to be a long video.
This morning I had an issue with Instagram that just really chapped my hide. Welcome to what will soon be our studio. We've got a lot of plumbing going on right now, so we need to wait until we get the plumbing done in order to get the studio together. You guys know that I love connecting on social media, and that right now is a great time for artists because we can connect directly with the people that would want to collect our art. We could connect with other artists all around the world. It's a great thing. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any of those platforms that you can connect with another human being out there in the world, I think is awesome. That being said, there are drawbacks. If somebody sends you a message on Instagram and they're not a friend, it goes to a message request section, which makes sense, right? Because you're gonna get a lot of people, I get a lot of that, you wanna become famous on Instagram?
Oh man, if I had $1 for every time someone promised me fame on social media, I could buy my way to fame, which as we all know is the real way to do it.
Oh. The issue is when Instagram screws up or Facebook screws up or anybody else. Of course, you've heard stories of people being locked out of their accounts. It happens on just about every single platform where somebody gets locked out of their account. I personally got locked out of my own Facebook business page and couldn't get back on and had to get an affidavit in order to be able to get back on. And I get it. There's a lot of provisions in place to make sure that people don't hack into accounts, which people end up hacking and getting their accounts hacked anyway. That stuff I could almost understand, but I would still say, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I know of artists that have put all of their business contacts and everything that they use on Facebook, and then from one moment to the next, they are locked out of their account, or they get their account deleted, or something happens on Facebook, and then all of a sudden their entire business that was formed on Facebook is gone. For me personally, on Instagram this morning, I went on the message request page, and all of a sudden there were all these messages that span back till like February of 2019. There are literally hundreds of messages on there that I never saw. And I check my message requests at least once a month.
Embarrassingly, I didn't know that those existed until a couple of years ago, and when I did find them, there were quite a few. My technological unsavviness thwarted me in this case, but in general, it's a lot to keep up with, even when things don't glitch.
Yeah. Let alone getting like close to 1,000 messages all at once.
Dude, that's heavy.
There were requests for commissions. There were messages from a lot of you guys here on YouTube. And I was like, what the fuck, Instagram? This is the reason that I say that when it comes to your business, direct people to your website. Because at least there, if something gets screwed up, it's because you screwed it up. Living in different areas of the country, it was interesting to see how reliant some areas were on a certain platform over another one. And I think that has a lot to do with just the local area and how many people use one versus the other. So many people use the Facebook here.
Yeah, they use the Facebook exclusively.
Yeah, down where we were at, like, people mostly used Instagram, and then here, like, they don't even have websites.
No.
For, like, full-on businesses.
No.
They have, like, a Facebook page, and I'm like...
It's kind of crazy because, like, if Facebook goes down, and it does, then your business is down.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Social media is great because it allows for us to actually connect one-on-one with individuals out there. What's not great about it is that everyone thinks that they're in this competition of popularity. It's almost like being in high school again. So, like, if you're using social media and you're feeling really bad because, I don't have a lot of likes, or I don't have a lot of friends, or I don't have a lot of followers,
I was stunningly unpopular in high school. Like, I was the level of unpopular where, like, even the reject kids were careful about who saw them talking to me. There was no chance for me. I was never chasing popularity. It was a fruitless pursuit. And there's a powerful self-reliance that comes with that.
That's true. That's true. So are you popular on social media?
No. No, I don't think so.
Are the reject kids still rejecting you on social media?
I found a powerful group of reject kids to connect with. Yeah.
Yes, the rogues.
Yes.
Social media is designed in a particular way that it almost causes addictive behavior. So a lot of people will go on because you're chasing likes and you're chasing friends and you're chasing followers and you're chasing this and you're chasing that.
I don't think that there's anything that anyone could offer me because of my history that would convince me to chase the popularity or the likes. MySpace launched after I graduated. I'm dating myself here, but that would have just been another avenue for me to feel like a reject.
The upside is that a lot of rejects connect, you know, like we
Yes.
have our awesome community.
They're amazing.
I would say that the rejects in high school are the future of the world.
Rejects are the future.
Yeah. What ends up happening is that a lot of times people will attribute the social media platform to their success. Now, don't get me wrong, social media is great for putting your stuff out there. But you got to remember, it's you, it's your art, it is who you are, the way that you communicate, what you communicate that ultimately matters. It's not the platform itself. I think in the beginning I want more followers and stuff like that, but then after a while I was like, oh, it doesn't even mean anything.
Well, yeah, you come to realize, like, people are fickle, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you think people are fickle, dude, algorithms.
Oh,
Imagine trying to please an algorithm.
imagine trying to date an algorithm.
That would be a nightmare.
The whole point of having a social media account is for that human connection, is so that you could connect to people. And if you're an artist, is to be able to connect to other artists that are out there, connect to people that are interested in your art, people that love art, you know, just having that art culture. That's the whole point of having it. I spent an hour this morning trying to respond to as many people as I could and realized, like, I'm never going to reach the end of that list. And I got so angry at the carelessness of a platform that is based on human connection. But that being said, the big motivator for a lot of the people that are behind social media is not human connection. It's about retention and making money on advertising. That's where I think that it is vitally important to have your own presence, to have your own place on the internet. And I've said this time and time again, do not rely on social media. Do not put your eggs all in one basket. Always have a fallback plan. Think about it this way, because I do the same thing even with YouTube, and I love YouTube, and I love the ability to be able to connect with you guys and do these videos. But the fact of the matter is that I don't know what direction YouTube is going to go. It was the same thing that happened with Etsy. And, you know, we released that Etsy video and a lot of you guys are following because of that Etsy video. But it was the same thing. Etsy started as one thing and then slowly but surely over the years it progressed into something else. Something that just didn't agree with how we do business now. The Etsy video was big for us.
Yes, it was. At the time that the Etsy stuff was happening, though, it was devastating for me because I was heavily reliant on the Etsy platform. I hadn't made that shift quite yet.
I have been wanting to get away from Etsy for a while.
You were like, I see where this is going, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, please just don't do anything crazy, okay?
Who knows who's going to take over? Who knows if they're going to get bought out? I mean, Instagram got bought out by Facebook. The most important thing I would recommend is that you develop your website, that you develop a subscriber base to your website, have a blog, have a newsletter, have ways that you could communicate with your audience through your website in a way that causes them to become familiar with your website. A lot of artists out there have a static website that they put out in the middle of internet Siberia, and because they don't get any traffic right away, or they don't have people buying their art or even visiting the page, then they just it kind of just floats off on an iceberg out into the middle of nowhere. and then they pay no more attention to it, and they pour all their attention into their social media platform or whatever platform it is that they're using that's not their website. The thing you have to understand is that you have control over your website. You don't have control over these platforms. You don't have control over what standards they have, who's in control. You just don't have control over somebody else's company. You are just kind of using that platform, and if you rely on that platform too heavily, it's going to bite you in the butt.
So I've never had anything truly crazy happen to my social media accounts, but I have learned the hard way. I was heavily reliant on Aviary Photo Editor, as you recall, because it was awesome. It was so awesome that Adobe purchased it just so they could crush it and throw it in the trash because it was competition for them. And I was gutted because I used it for all of my photo editing. I wrote them a stern letter, which made no difference.
The landscape on the internet is constantly changing. I mean, honestly, the emails that I was getting was from around a time where Facebook bought Instagram.
Right. So those messages were like hanging out on some server somewhere. Their little envelopes were their virtual envelopes were getting all crunched up in some gears in some machine. And
the way I see the internet is the same way as I see real life, right? So like when we're looking at the way that we're putting ourselves out there on the internet, you could be doing a local festival that maybe happens every month or happens every year, and this could be somewhere that you go to and you rely on a lot of your business there because you know what, this is where I get a lot of attention, except that that festival is being run by someone else. So if you consistently rely on that every year and all your eggs are in that basket, the moment that it changes hands, the moment that something happens, the moment that it needs to be canceled, then you're screwed. You're still relying on someone else in order to be able to make money. And that's why while you're putting yourself out there on social media, while you're doing a festival, it is important to be building the foundation of your own place, whether it is a website online or finding a way to connect with your collectors one-on-one. Even when I didn't have a gallery space where I could hang my artwork, I still did appointment-only studio visits. The more comfortable that people got with that, the more apt they were to just come and visit my studio than to meet me at a local festival or at a show that might get rained out or canceled. Look at all platforms that are not run by you in the same way. Look at them as stepping stones, opportunities to get your stuff out there, but do not rely on them. Do not allow yourself to rely on them because that changes and it's not in your control. You have control over your website. You could dictate what happens on your website. You could dictate how the messages get to you. When it comes to social media, that's not yours. You're just borrowing it. It's using the platforms, but not letting the platforms use you. Having control over your stuff, you know?
yeah, unlimited power.
At the end of the day, remember, you're the artist, you're the badass, you're the one that's putting yourself out there. Build your own foundation. It's your website, it's how you gather information. If you're using any platform for your email, make sure that it filters through something where you keep your contact list, you keep all that information. You want to make sure that you have a backup. You want to make sure that you are ready just in case it goes down. Think about building the foundation to your own thing so that you don't have to rely on someone else's rules, and that the moment that they change their rules, then you're locked in. And then you're going to go frantic. If you already have your foundation built, then it's no big deal. The moment that they pull some crap, then you're like, okay, well, I've got this. So I'm about to end this video. You have any words of wisdom for all the awesome creators out there?
The tree that puts its fruit in many baskets reaches many far-off lands with its seeds.
I don't even know what that means. This is a little bit of a tense subject, and I know that a lot of you have had your own crappy experiences when it comes to social media. If you want to describe what happened on social media and rant about it, absolutely go ahead and do that. But please also leave some kind of solution to the issue, like where are you going now? What is it that you're doing now in order to make sure that that doesn't happen again? Go ahead and leave that in the comments section below. I want to give a big shout out to our patrons on Patreon, which also every once in a while has its own issues and they're figuring that stuff out. But like I said, I love all these platforms for the opportunities that they give us. I hate these platforms for the stupid things that they do every once in a while that just doesn't work out for the people that are actually using the platform. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me rant, for getting this off my chest this morning. I absolutely freaking adore you guys. Hopefully this wasn't a big downer. I'm hoping that it wasn't. That's it for this video. You want to say goodbye to our awesome peeps in your most popular fashion?
Good day.
Oh God.
A wink is always the right move, isn't it?
You were definitely not popular. By the way, this isn't the usual type of video that I do, but if you like this and you want to subscribe to our channel, go ahead and click right over here to subscribe. And that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Adios.